Everyone. So yesterday we discussed about um, the overview of entire business economics syllabus. What is there in which unit? What are the topics we are going to cover uh, in all the different units we discussed yesterday. Today I want to start with the actual concept of business economics. Till now we discussed about economics. Anybody, can you define economics? Anyone? What is economics? Could you please
It is
define?
the
That's
study
social
of
science.
Okay,
it is the study of how society manages its scarce resources.
very good. It's a study of how society manages its scarce resources. We discussed two important concepts in that definition. First one is,
Scarce resources and unlimited ones.
yeah, resources are scarce, and our society has unlimited wants and needs. Then we discussed about history of economics. Who is the father
Adam
of
Smith.
economics? Adam Smith. Then we discussed about the problems of economy, the major problems of an economy. What are the major problems of an economy?
What to produce,
To
how
produce,
to
how to
produce,
produce,
whom to produce,
for whom to
what
produce,
When to
provision
produce,
needed.
how
What
to
provisions
produce.
for economic growth?
allocation of resources.
Yeah, good. So now today I'm going to discuss with business economics. Before that, let me ask you one question. What is business?
It's a trade of something.
Okay. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to give you one link. Quickly, you should uh, type what is business according to you in that. Quickly, very quickly. Ah, define business in your own words. Quickly. Define business in your own words. You got the link? Hello, you got the link? Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You can write your name before that. Yeah. If you log in from, you already logged into your email, automatically your name will come. Otherwise, you need to write. It's a commercial activity. Good. Business is a trade of goods. Business is buying and selling of goods and services of money. A person's profession or trade. Do it fast. Do it fast. Still some are writing their name. Yeah, do it fast. So define business in your own words. It's a process of buying and selling of goods in order to earn. Okay, good. Business is okay with risks and achieve goals of society and self goals. Trading of goods to earn profit. Okay. Business is a type of trade where money is involved. Exchange of goods and services with the aim of gaining profit. Business is an activity a person performs where he expects profit. Yes. Where we can work ourselves instead of working uh, under someone, and we can earn more. Okay, Akash. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much. We know what is business by seeing your definitions. Everybody knows, what is business. So now, I'm going to deal today what is business economics. So business economics relatively a part of economics. Basically economics means it has the scope of economics so wide But business economics is also called as managerial economics. It is also called as managerial economics. So, and also, just a minute, someone is.
Okay, auntie.
It's simply, it is a thought of, it's a thought of as applied microeconomics. Basically, it is come under microeconomics, and also it is called as applied microeconomics because we are going to apply all our, the principles of economic theory and methods to business decision making. We are going to apply all principles and also economic theories, methods, concepts. So for business to solve the business problems. So that's why it is also called as applied economics, applied microeconomics. So basically it deals with the managerial decisions. So that's why it is called as managerial economics. Let me define, let me give you two definitions. So business economics deals with the application of economic laws to the business problems to take sound business decisions. So business is all about making decisions. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Every
Yes, sir.
time, every day, you need to make so many decisions. It is all about making decisions. The decisions taken by the entrepreneurs or managers will bring or will make business or will break business. Isn't it?
Taking risks too.
So every decision is very, very important. Some decisions have a long-term consequences. Some decisions have a short-term consequences, but every decision have some consequences. So while we are taking any decision, so we are going to apply the economic laws and economic methods and economic, theories, economic concepts to the business decisions. So that is called, business economics. And business economics is a science which deals with the application of economic theories, techniques, principles, and concepts to the business management in order to solve business and managerial problems. There are so many problems are there in the business. There are so many challenges are there in the business. So we are going to take the help of economics, economic theories, economic techniques, economic principles, and concepts to solve these problems. Simply, we can say that it refers to the integration of economic theory with the business practice. It is a part of economics. It is not the complete economics. It is an integration of economic theory with the business practice. So that is business economics. Let me tell you a simple definitions between economics and business economics, so that economics is more comprehensive and wider in scope. It deals with so many aspects. But business economics is too narrow and has a limited scope. It deals with a particular firm, or it deals with a particular household. It deals with a particular individual economic behavior. So the scope is relatively very, very limited if you compare with economics. Then next one is, it is concerned with body of principles. There are so many laws, so many methods, concepts, principles are there in economics. But in my business economics, it deals with the application of economic principles to the problems faced by the real world, or problems faced by the business people. So it is an application of economic principle, but it is a body of principles. The third one is, it includes both micro and macro economics. What is micro?
Household.
Yeah, micro means small or individualistic. Macro means it's an aggregate. It's an aggregate. Okay, so it deals
Aggregate.
generally. Economics deals with both micro and macroeconomics, but business economics deals with microeconomics. So basically, it deals with it studies, or it explains it studies the economic behavior of an individual or a household or of a firm. So then, economic, it is both positive and normative. So these two are very, very important in economics. So almost economics, all the theories, will come out of these two different parts, positive science and normative science. What is positive? Positive science means what? Any idea? So basically, economics tells what it is, which means it is all about factual analysis. So factual analysis, when something is said, so we can it can be tested and it can be proven or disproven. Say, for example, I can tell you that 35% temperature is there outside today. So you could be verify my statement whether it is true or false. Am I right? So positive science is all about, it tells what it is, what it is. It is all about a factual analysis. So all these statements can be tested. We can prove or we can disprove also. So we can verify whether the statement correct or not. So that is called positive science. What is normative science? Normative science talks about
What should be?
very good. It talks about what should be, what ought to be. So it involves personal judgment. It involves personal ideas. So it cannot be proven or it cannot be disproven. Say, for example, if I say orange is better than red, can you verify this?
No, sir.
Can you prove this? It's
No.
very
sir.
difficult because it depends upon the personal judgmental thing, isn't it? So every person has a different taste. Every person has a different, every person is unique. So it's very difficult to prove that, it's a prove or disprove. So opinions are not universal, but normative science talks about opinions and talks about norms. So it deals with economics, deals with both positive and normative science, but in generally, the business economics mainly in normative science. Normative science. We are going to learn that also. Then fifth one, it discuss general economic problems. So all general economic problems, but business economics deals with the problems of a firm only. It is not generic. But it talks about to provide the solutions for a particular firm or particular business problems. So it is not universal. So these are the major differences between business economics and economics. Okay, simply, we can say like this. So there are some economic theories and methodologies and also concepts are there. So, and also there are so many problems are there in the business. Okay, problems related to the decision making. So what is decision making? Anybody? What is decision making?
Taking decisions which is right and which is wrong.
Pardon?
So choosing the best alternatives.
Yeah, selecting the best alternative among various alternatives, isn't it? Say, for example, you want to buy a car, so you can't go and buy directly, no? So first, what you are going to do? You're going to, finalize your budget. Say, for example, your budget is 6 lakhs. So now what we are going to do now? So we are going to identify the cars in that budget. Now, there are so many cars under 6 lakhs budget, isn't it? So now you need to identify various alternatives. So once you identify the various alternatives, then what you are going to do? You are going to evaluate which alternative is the best one. So finally, you are going to select one alternative. So that is called your decision. So decision making is simply selecting the best alternatives among various alternatives. So in business, there are so many decisions you need to take. So many alternatives are there. Take an example of, to buy any raw materials or, for a production, for marketing, for finance, for every decision, any decision related to any department, there are so many alternatives are there. So we need to choose the best alternative. So there are so many problems are there related to the decision making in the business. Now we are going to apply all this economic theory, methodology, and concepts and laws to take the decisions in business. So business economics, economic application of economic theory, methodology to solve the business problems, to provide the optimum solutions to the business problems. So maybe to evaluate properly each option and also to get a optimum solutions for our business problems. So we are going to apply the economic theories and economic methodology, concepts, laws in business. That is called business economics. It's a very simple. So application of economic theories, methodology, laws, concepts in business decision in business is called business management, or sorry, business economics. So it's also called as managerial economics. So what is the nature and characteristics of managerial economics or business economics? The first one is it is micro in nature. Yesterday I said, microeconomics and macro. What is micro? Micro. Basically, it came from the Greek word micros, M-I-K-R-O-S, micros, which means small. And also it is also called as, aggregate. So micro means, individualistic. It's a millionth part of an aggregate. So basically, it deals with small segment or a small component of an aggregate. So it studies the economic behavior and economic motives of individual customers or households or a particular firm. So that's why it is called microeconomics. It's basically micro in nature. It studies about the economic behavior or economic motives of individuals or households or firms. That's why it is micro in nature. Okay, and also even though it is micro in nature, the next one it also studies the various macroeconomic concepts. Various macroeconomic concepts, which means what? It's a study of macro environment. Study of macro environment. What is macro?
Huge, sir.
The study
Huge.
of
Aggregate.
Aggregate. Study of
As a
economic
whole.
system as a whole, isn't it? And it studies the whole economic system. Macroeconomics means why we need to study the macroeconomics. We know that generally business economics is all about an individuals, or it is all about households. It's all about a particular firm. Why we need to study the macroeconomics or macro environment?
To check how it affects an individual.
Yes. And also every business operates under macro environment. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Even though we are talking about an individual business, but every business concern operate under macro environment. So the decisions taken by the government are going to influence your business. Am I right? And the political stability in the country is going to influence your business. I say when Narendra Modi ji said demonetization decision, is it impacted the business or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When they introduced GST, is it impacted or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's not only like that. There is coronavirus. So is there any impact on businesses?
Yes.
Huge
Definitely.
impact.
Impact.
Huge impact,
Large
isn't
impact.
it? Yeah. So which means what? Every business is operate under macro environmental factors. So there are so many environmental factors. There are so many legal factors, political factors, economic factors. So and also cultural factors, social factors are going to influence the business. So which means you need to study the macro environment to survive in the business. So to survive for a long term, you have to study the macro environmental factors. So you need to study the whole concepts, whole economy as entire economy. You need to whole economic system. You need to study. So we need to understand what is GNP, what is GDP, what is NNP, what is inflation, because inflation is going to influence your pricing. So like that, we have to, even though it is micro in nature, you need to study the macro environmental factors also. So it is studies the business economics, studies various macro economic concepts. So like, as I said, GNP, GDP, NNP, and, total national output, aggregate employment, total consumption, total investment. So we need to study all those things. Otherwise we can't survive in the business. So it is all about study of macro environment, not only micro. So let me give you a brief differences between these two. So micro means it studies the small part of an economy. Macro means it studies the large part of the economy. So say for example, aggregate employment. You want to study aggregate employment, which come under macro or micro?
Macro.
macro.
Total consumption of a country.
Macro.
So like that, macro means it studies a large part of the economy. So if you want to study economic behavior of a particular firm, that is come under microeconomics. The second one is, it is a study of individual units of the economy. So as I said, there are individual customers, households, a small firm, a producer, So these are the individual units of economy. We are going to study individual units of economy, but macroeconomics is a study of whole economy. So in microeconomics, it's a partial picture of the economy. It is not exactly what is economy. Sometimes we can't assume and we can't forecast the economy based on a particular firm. So, but in macroeconomics, it gives a total picture of the entire economy. So it covers the limited area, but macroeconomics covers the wider scope. So these are the major differences between these two. Yeah. So the nature is, first one is it's micro in nature. The next one is it's a study of macro environment. So why we need to study the macro environment? Let me ask you one more time.
To apply to the business.
Okay. So every business operates under macro environmental factors. There are so many macro environmental factors which influence the business. Say like, say for example, political factors, social factors, cultural factors, and economic factors. So all these factors are going to influence the business. So to survive for long term, we need to study the macro environment. The third one is pragmatic in approach. What is pragmatic in approach? Any idea?
Solving the problem, maybe you have to approach a practical solution for a problem.
Very good, Zuma. So anybody, what is pragmatic in nature?
Approaching a problem in a sensible way, sir.
Very good. Approaching the problem in a sensible way. Very good. Simply, we can understand pragmatic means it's a very practical in nature. So application of all economic analysis to the decision making. It generally, it tries to solve the problems which the firms are going to face. It won't give so many theories. It won't give so many, what is the difference between, theory class and practical?
Practical.
Theory class and lab. We have a
Physical
theory class
exercise.
and yeah.
You get to know how things work on the field when you actually
Yes, when you
do it
work in
practically.
lab, isn't it? So it deals with the practical approach. Basically, it's very practical. If you have a problem, so you are going to apply a few rules or a few principles from this business economics, then you can solve your problem. It won't talk about total economy, or it won't talk about so many laws. What is law? We are going to learn all those points, all those concepts, but it is basically pragmatic in approach. So whenever you need it, you are going to apply those principles and take a decision. Okay, so that is pragmatic in an approach. The next one is it is a normative science. What is normative science? Just now I discussed. What is normative science?
What should be or what ought to be.
Yeah, what should be. It talks about what should be or what ought to be. So there is, it involves sometimes personal judgments, personal ideas. So when I said a personal judgment, it cannot be proven sometimes. So, but it will be really helpful to the business. So it gives, opinions opinions to the managers, and managers can take some suggestions or take some decision based on these a business economics principles. So it is all about normative science. Okay, and it is also a science. What is science means? What? This nature in nature everywhere we are going to learn this nature of almost every subject. Basically business economics is a science. What it is?
It is based on certain laws and principles.
Very good. It builds up of facts. It's based on facts. It's based on laws. It's based on principles. It is a systematic and comprehensive study of knowledge which explains cause and effect. Basically, this is very important. It establishes the cause and effect relationship between things, and it's a scientific method of study. Consists of three, generally inseparable steps. In science, we have three steps, common steps. Anybody can explain what are those steps in science? Three important steps will be there in science approach.
Steps for what, sir?
In scientific methodology, generally we have 3 steps.
Aim, procedure, and conclusion.
Okay. So one day,
Experiment, observe.
very good, very good, very good. Experiment, observe. Is it like that, or first observe will come?
Apparatus we need.
Okay. So basically, in few books, we can see 5 or 6 steps, but basically we can see it's all about observation, and it's all about reasoning, and it's all about verification. Isn't it? One day one person sitting under a tree, and he observed one thing, if the fall of a fruit from that tree. Who's he?
Einstein.
Newton.
Newton.
Sorry, sorry.
Then he observed one thing. Then what he did? So he developed the reasoning. He established the cause and effect relationship between that. So finally, he proposed a theory, isn't it? So that theory became law. So observation, examination, theory, law, or observation. So we can say simply observation, reasoning, verification. So then it became a law. So somebody observed one thing. He thought, the origin of humans. Then he formulated one theory. You see, the origin of humans. Who is he? He proposed evolution theory.
Charles Darwin.
Very good. Charles Darwin. So he also, observed something, and also he proposed one theory, because he's tried to establish the cause and effect relationship. But is it verified?
No, sir.
So that's why now still, even though he introduced this evolution theory long back, still we are studying this as evolution theory. It is not evolution law. But Newton's we are studying is a law of gravitation. But what is the difference between a theory and law? Theory and law?
Law is verified, but theory is just an
Yes.
explanation.
Very
Theory is
good.
assumption.
Yeah,
Law is
theory is an
proof, sir.
assumption. Anybody can give theory. I can also give one theory, but it may not become a law because it may not be verifiable. If somebody is universally verified, so that everybody agree for that, it will become a law. So Darwin's still it became a still it is evolution theory because it is not yet to proven. So it is not yet to universally accepted. So that's why it is we are studying as a evolution theory. But we are studying law of gravitation. Like there are so many laws are there in the science. So this is generally scientific approach. So one is observation, then examination, theory, law, or observation, establishing the reasoning, and third one is verification. Say for example, economics is also like that. It is all about human economic behavior, observation of human economics behavior, how humans are react, how humans are take decisions. So it is all about human behavior analysis, observing the human behavior, man's economic behavior, isn't it? So collecting the facts, classifying those facts according to their nature. So it is all about observation. There are so many theories in economics, especially are come out from the observation. Okay, say for example, law of demand is there. What is law of demand? What it tells?
Demand
Anybody?
depends on supply.
Sir, as the demand for a commodity increases, the price decreases. It is inversely proportional to price. Demand.
Price. When the price of a commodity increases, that demand will decrease.
Decrease.
How they're defined? It is all about observation, isn't it? They observed so many cases, so many products. So then they try to establish the relationship between cause and effects. So one thing is happening, other thing is also happening. They establish the relationship between these two. So price and demand. So it is not one case, in almost all commodities. Then, then everybody verified, established the cause and effect. So say, for example, when they establish the cause and effect, if it is verifiable, so then, it will become a law. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So when we verify, all scientific laws are formulated only after verifying a number of cases. So whenever we verified number of cases, number of books, number of number of areas, number of times, then it will become a law. So that's when law of demand we can we are studying because it's same process. It's because it's a science. So observation. So somebody observed few things and they establish the cause and effect. Finally, it is verifiable, and also verification happens so many times so that it will become a law. So if you see this, it is all about approach. It's a scientific approach. So that's why economics is a systematic study, because it is a scientific approach, and also economic laws are similar to the laws of other sciences. There are so many laws are there in scientific approach or science. Also, we have many laws in economics also. Economics carry out several experiments. You're going to study experiments not only related to the science. We have some experiments in economics, and also most economic laws are universally applicable. Okay, certain economic laws are relatively more accurate also, even though it is economics. So that's why we can say that it is a science. Economics, business economics is a science. And also it is not only science, it is also art. So as it requires the practical application of rules and principles to achieve objectives. So it's an application of knowledge, and it helps to solve the human problems, and it promotes the welfare. So that's why it is not only science, it is also an art. Okay, so it is interdisciplinary. What is interdisciplinary means what? Interdisciplinary means what? It incorporates tools from many other disciplines. Say, for example, so mathematics, statistics, accounting, marketing tools we are going to use in economics. So there are various tools related to other disciplines, financial accounting or cost accounting, other branches, and also mathematics, mathematical tools, statistical tools. So marketing techniques we are going to use in economics. So it is interdisciplinary. These are the various characteristics of business economics. Let me quickly, the first one is it is micro in nature, study of macro environment, pragmatic in approach, and normative science. It is a science, and it is an art. It is interdisciplinary. Okay, any questions?
No, sir. All
Sir, can you explain how it is an art?